Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Trekyards. We have a very special guests with us today, actually, and I'd like them to all introduce themselves.
Hey everybody, I'm Mike McMahon. I am the creator of Star Trek Lower Decks.
Hey everybody, I'm Barry, Barry J. Kelly. I'm the supervising director of season 2 and season 3 of Star Trek Lower Decks.
I am Nolan Obana. I'm the art director for Lower Decks season 2 and season 3.
And I'm Brad Winters. I'm a producer on Lower Decks.
So let's jump briefly onto the Pakled ship. Quite a fierce, Pakled ships in season 1, and then we had a uniform design at the end of season 2.
Well, I did the season 1 and I drove everybody nuts because I'm like, we're not doing 3D, we're gonna do all these as paintings, and then because it was easier to kit bash, kind of the kit bash paint because we didn't. It took a while to design that Pakled ship. I remember it was kind of a fine line between making it dumb because they're dumb, and I remember sometimes I wanted to put we always wanted to have that nozzle beak, the freighter, that they always use, which I know it doesn't seem like that'd be a uniform thing. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it'd be a uniform thing, but it's like Mike was saying with the colors and stuff like that. Sometimes we just have to make choices that are, does this read from far away, and does this read like the blue, the blue, the way the ships are painted blue as opposed to yellow. I'm like, I want to make sure that from far away, when a shot where you're seeing two separate ships, that you can tell which one's the blue one, which one's the yellow one. And being a drawing, all these things, we're always trying to it's like an illusion for the audience. We're always trying to explain this flat image is a silhouette of a 3D ship, and it's always what's clearest. So we put that freighter on the front of every ship. We kind of have we wanted a bad bird of prey. In other words, it's they made their own bird of prey, but it looks like a terrible taxidermy of a bird of prey. So they kind of cobbled together some different nacelles. I thought it'd be fun to have all tons of different nacelles just sticking out the back. I know we had designs of it for being this giant mouth thing, and maybe that freighter was actually in the middle of it, and it was more inside the ship, or kind of stuck in there with bubble gum and duct tape and stuff like that. But we eventually landed on this kind of wannabe bird of prey. Like I said, we were learning the show. We were trying to figure out what's the right aesthetic for the show. So we did paintings for those in season 1, and then once we got into season 3 and we realized the Pakleds were going to be coming back and being more, we did more of a clear 3D Pakled ship. So our designer Marcelo did an even better, more refined one. And there are differences between it. It used to be we wanted different nacelles on each one, and I think that still applies. You don't really see the back of all of them all the time, but definitely colors will be different between the two, just because you want them to feel a little piecemeal and junk we kind of refined the cage. We refined they all have a basic cage to pull stuff apart with and chop shop, quote unquote.
We also added the battle harpies second season, the little ships.
Oh yeah, we had the battle harpies, and we got their little shuttles, which are all kind of versions of that freighter. It's kind of that gold and brown color scheme. The battle harpies, again, to me were did we base that off anything though? I feel we started with a Klingon fighter or something. We're let's chop it up and kind of chop the nose off or something.
Looks pretty original to us.
With something.
It is based off of something loose.
Yeah.
It's I love those the Voltron ships with the scorpion tails.
Oh right.
And when Marcelo was giving us designs, I was like, you know what? It'd be awesome if this had a scorpion tail.
Right. You know what? That's such a Pakled thing they'd want. Give this ship a tail. And I love the naming scheme that I think first season we didn't call it this, but by Wage Douche, we called them the Pakled Clump ships, which made me laugh so hard.
And of course, the inspired name at the end, Pakled Ship Pakled. I mean, that must have been. I think you all earned a paycheck that day.
I think all the Pakled ships are called the Pakled Ship Pakled. They all named them that.
No, we joked it should be Pakled Ship A, Pakled Ship B, Pakled Ship C.
Oh, it's a good idea. Yeah,
We're fighting the E. Pakled Ship E. Now, do you have a scale on that though? Because I might be doing some work with a Pakled ship soon. I'd love to know a scale.
They're big.
They're big boys.
Well, can we take the Dederadex parts as the same size as a Dederadex?
I wouldn't.
It's pretty big,
but maybe.
Yeah, that's pretty big. Yeah, I mean,
That's
it's got to be
big.
big enough. You could fit the D in one of those gaps, right? You could fit the D in the gap in those
the Dederadex,
the bird of prey.
Yeah.
So to me, you can fit you got to
It
be able
might
to
line
fit
up.
something the size of the Cerritos in the cage, like in the cage.
Yeah.
So that's the scale. Like the Cerritos fits in the cage, then everything else kind of goes around it.
Yeah, it feels like it's smaller than a Pterodactyl, but bigger than almost everything else. But Pterodactyls are huge. The trick is when you get to Wage Douche, we have that giant Vulcan ship and the Cerritos and the Pakled ship in the same frame. And the bird of prey is really small, you know? So like, if you're taking it from that, I think that the Pakled ships you have to imagine are like, those are big honkers, you know? Like,
if that's a Burrell class, those are like 100 meters. So they're not actually. If it was a small bird of prey, it would have been quite small. But then you see the bird of prey weapons on Pakled ship, and they're obviously 4 times as big as the entire bird of prey. So they must be cavort guns. So
yes,
I'd
I
say
was thinking
that-
the exact same thing.
Yes. I'll say that with the Pakled ship, there was they've taken that technology. Maybe it's not exactly a 1-to-1, and they've like some TV shows do. They've just loved scaling stuff up and maybe keeping the exact same design.
The Pakleds are really good at taking existing technology and making them work together. Like I think that that's something that isn't like we're all like, oh, the Pakleds are dumb and they like to go strong, but like they're really good at like taking two technologies that shouldn't be able to work together and merging them and making them bigger and utilizing them, like building on the work other people have done. So like that's why it's so easy for Rutherford to implant Badgie in the first season. Is like everything in a Pakled, and this is weirdly stuff I've thought about, like everything in a Pakled ship has to be designed that you can plug other stuff into it really easily, and that's kind of their downfall too. And yeah, like scale can change across the clump ships. They don't change that design very much. Like if it works, it works, because it's almost like a fish. Think about like evolution with a fish. It's like you just keep getting bigger and bigger fish. Like that's kind of like the Pakled design ethos, at least in my.
And I kind of like the simple elegance of they found design they liked, and then they rebuilt that broken kitbash design again and again and again, while never actually make it more elegant because it works. So they've now got 100 designed kitbashes.
You've just stumbled on the canon answer at the Battle of Kala. That was the Pakled's coming out party to the Alpha Quadrant of being an aggressor. They almost won, but that one design really, they just kept it going. There's the answer.
It works. It works.
Memory Alpha, type it up.
Just need a size next, but don't worry, I'll work it out. I'll throw you.
I can tell you. I'll give you straight from the Akuta files. And my math might have been wrong when I posted this on Twitter a while ago, but the Cerritos, because Michael, we're Americans. He gave us everything in feet, but for the world, I wanted to do it in meters. But the Cerritos link is 1,756 feet long.
Not 55. Don't mess that up. That last foot, there's a lot of story in that last foot.
So it's half as long as a galaxy.
That sounds right.
Just agree with them. Just say yes. They're right. They're always right, Brad. Don't disagree with them.
Powerful Google. All right, guys.
He did give me we do have a Galaxy to Cerritos comparison chart from
could
Michael.
show it to you, but we'd have to kill you. So you have to do that.
We'll just send you the Trekyards episode. We do a graph with all of these ships, and you'll see it compared to the Stargate ships and Battlestar ships, and there you go. That can be your in-house chart with everything.
I wouldn't be surprised if one day I heard like a big honking outside, and I went outside and there was a full Star Trek ship hovering above my house with you two waving out of it, being like, are the windows the right size? And I'd be like, yes, please don't blast me. Don't.
Mike, we have whales. Go aboard. So
I think we're coming to our end of our time here. So I just want to say thank you guys for joining us. We really, really super appreciate it, and we're hoping to talk to you all again soon.
But seriously, you obviously Mike, show running creator, but the artists that are here, seriously, you guys done some phenomenal work. And obviously, if you've seen our content, we look at it in depth. But the fact, we hear from our fans, it's just a cartoon, it's just animated. And we say, but it isn't though. They put that hard work in. So we feel able to say, but look at those buttons aren't in the right place. And we say, but all those buttons are. That 94% is right. So seriously, again, amazing work. Sorry it's so draining, but please don't stop that level of hard work.
And I have to give a public shout out to them, an underline on all of this that I think it's lost sometimes. All from home, all on residential dial-up, all during a global pandemic. Like the show, like all of season 2 was made from home. And I don't think it feels like that. I think you look at season 1 and season 2, and I see people talking about season 2 must have had a huger budget and all this other stuff. And I'm like, it didn't, and it was actually made with a huge handicap of the pandemic we all lived through. But all these artists, our team in Canada, Barry, Nolan, done like such an incredible job.
And thank you guys for being such fans. And then
keep spreading the word. Just keep spreading the word.
Thank you. Thank you for being great ambassadors. We really appreciate it.